Good morning, my dear and beloved fellow travelers. Once again, we'll meet here to reflect on the times we're living in, and today we'll bring in essential theme, the economic reset. We have discussed on several occasions the reset-off systems that are depleting and new ones of a quantum nature that are beginning to emerge, aligned with the energy of the new Earth. We spoke of collective awakening, planetary transition, and the elevated vibration that leads us to a more just and harmonious reality. But there is still much to understand. We don't yet have enough concrete data to form a definitive open. Therefore, we proceed with caution, with own foot behind, observing the signs. Even so, we do receive guidance and insights transmit to us by higher consciousnesses. And based on these lights, today we share some perceptions about changes that are already underway and others that are yet to come.
We are, my friends, at the end of a long transition. Planet Earth is in its final moments of change.
But of course, there is still much to be manifested on the physical plane. It is certain that the old system will find no place in the new Earth. It simply doesn't fit the new frequency. Let's then talk about this topic in more depth. Why is the economic reset, or as we prefer to call it, the financial reset, already underway? Many may not yet realize it, but the global financial system is already undergoing trends. This transition has intensified since the year 2020 and will continue to accelerate in the coming years. If anyone still has doubts, just look back. Compare the world today with that of 10, 15, or 20 years ago. Remember how banks, transactions, and services used to work? Today, a loft that is collapsing not by chance, but by necessity and evolution. The banking system as we knew it is becoming obsolete. Soon, it will cease to exist. There will no longer be banks as intermediary institutions. The new structure will be digital, autonomous, and personal. In the future, each person will, in a way, be their own bank. You will have your credit, your debit, and you will manage this through a platform or application. Perhaps accessible by a simple cell phone, you will be able to receive, move, and spend freely but within a totally new system. And it is fundamental. To clarify, we are not financial consultants. We don't give investment tips or magic recipes. What we offer here is spiritual and conscious guidance. That said, let's look for some keys to understanding together. First of all, this is very important. No one is exactly what will happen. No government, no bank, no minister of economy has total clarity about what is coming. The system is in mutation. This is because a new quantum financial system is already in operation, albeit discreetly. And when we speak of quantum, we are not referring to traditional human technology. We are redealing with a system not originated here on Earth, something that comes from outside, from higher dimensions, connected to a much superior intelligence, Earth. As many know, is being integrated into the Galactic Federation of Worlds, and has already gone through its transition at higher levels. Now it's time to adjust earthly systems to be in tune with this new frequency. Everything will be quantum since 1950. All financial movements have already been mirrored on a quantum platform Thetis, not located on this planet. Soon, this platform will be connected to Earth's financial systems, totally and definitively. What we are seeing today, digital currencies, transaction apps, virtual wallets, cryptocurrency, all of this, are the first steps of this new model. It's just the beginning. The quantum financial system will not allow injustices. There will be no room for theft, embezzlement, or manipulation. Nothing can be hidden. No one can take from another something that does not belong to them. But for this to be fully established, each of us needs to settle our own accounts. It's time. To Klosseth's spiritual accounting, we are not just talking about money, but aboutsul debts and credits. What we took from others, whether in this life or in other incarnations, needs to be harmonized before the new system is fully installed. That's why many people face losses today. Sometimes, inexplicable losses, a fire, a robbery, an illness, an unsuccessful investment, money, that doesn't come back. In some cases, even human justice is unable to reverse it. And when it judges unfairly, it seems pain is even greater. But know this, divine justice is above that of men. These losses are often opportunities to redeem old debts. The quantum system, when fully activated, will bring back everything that wasn't fairly taken from us? Yes. Everything will return in one way or another. Don't ask me how or when, because I don't know with her. But it is certain that there is a timetable. That timetable favors no one outside Therai time. Some people are not yet ready to receive. If they're received now, they would get lost. And divine laws, wise as they are, will not allow anyone to sink. Behaving receives something before its time. Therefore, the best advice I can offer you is, do what your soul feels is right. If your intuition tells you to apply your resources, invest consciously. But understand, if there is anything that needs to be harmonized on your path, there will be no foolproof application. Nothing will be fully protected if you need to go through some adjustment. Now, if you have no debts to redeem in this field, you can apply where you wish, and your resource will be safe. The important thing is to act with balance, without fear, and with sincerity in your heart. But beware. This does not mean investing with greed. Well, if I won't lose, then I'll invest with the speculator who promises double returns. Careful. Those who live by speculation be disproportionate profit, almost always. Act unethically. And in this new time, ethics is the new gold. The quantum system recognizes the intention behind each act. Therefore, act with rectitude. Invest if you wish, but honestly, thoughtfully, without exaggeration or greed. Do today what needs to be done. This is always the best advice. This logic applies not only to the financial field, but to all sectors, including professions. Some may think, if everything is going to change, why hold, I still go to college or start a course? The answer is simple, because nothing is lost. Everything, absolutely everything, is accounted for in the higher plane. What you learn now will be useful, in some way, in the new reality. So if you feel the call to study, studying is the right thing to do. Start, and time will show the purpose. Many people write to us saying, I had a lawsuit for years, and in the end, justice said I wasn't entitled, but I know I was. It was fair. It was my right. And yes, in many cases, it's true. But when human justice fails, it's not the end of the line. Their eyes will weigh a higher instance, that of divine justice. If this higher justice understands that you still had a debt to settle, it allows that, in this life, you have a resource, but it will be used as a means of settlement. You receive to pay off later. And if you understand this with maturity and accept it with wisdom, the universe recognizes you understood the lesson. At that moment, what was a loss transforms into learning, and soon after, the values return to you. However, if instead of accepting, you perceive everything and everyone, rebel against the world, create resistance, anger, or hatred, then the cycle goes not close. The pain remains, and the value never returns. The learning is blocked, and with that, the universe cannot return what would be yours. Let's remember, it is not human justice that closes the soul's process, but divine justice, and it is she who governs this whole moment of transition. So, my dear sister, and to all who hear me, what more can I say? Act according to what you feel is best, honestly, clearly, serenely. Do not be afraid. If you decide to invest, invest consciously. If you hate to lose, the loss will come anyway. If you hide the money in the safest place on earth, even gold. In a safe can disappear if it is part of a spiritual adjustment, because justice, in this time, needs to harmonize. It needs to close cycles and prepare the ground for the new earth. And it's not just the social, it's financial, educational, or political systems that are being reset. Souls are also undergoing a deep reset. Every pending issue, every emotional debt, every imbalanced energy needs to be recognized, forgiven, and transformed, even at this moment as we speak.
Wow.
This month of April, very relevant events are taking place, and most people don't even realize it. On April 2nd, for example, The creation of the American currency, the dollar, is celebrated. And not by coincidence, it was precisely on this day that the United States government made a symbol of cannons in that few understood. They called it Liberation Day. It wasn't spoken of in financial terms directly, but those with eyes to see understood. The message, for me, it is indeed a financial liberation, and not just for the United States, but for all countries in the world, because what has been dismantled is a system of control based on speculation and currency manipulation. For decades, not centuries well, seen emerging countries grow, develop, and then suddenly collapse. Why? Because someone from outside large groups, hidden investors large sums into these countries, inflates bubbles, and then withdraws all resources, leaving a trail of collapse. Countries go bankrupt, people suffer, these groups get richer, and this repeats and repeats as if it were a curse. But now, with these new measures announced on April 2nd, it seems the tide is beginning to turn. Customs tariffs, for example, are being reevaluated to prevent abuse. This means that nations will be obliged to compete on fairer terms, and this is in everyone's interest, especially poorer countries. The profit of old that which only went to speculators is now beginning to be contained. Money that did not reach the people may finally begin to flow more equitably, and between us, it's long overdue to end the gamp of sewer rats, birds of prey, system thieves. People are tired of begging while a few drown in wealth, accumulated at the expense of other suffering. We are exhausted by this modern slavery, working nonstop, and still being in debt, but now something has changed. Act. And the next steps will show it. The measures taken in early April already provide a direction, a clear indication that systems are being realigned, not just to favor major powers, but to equalize the playing field among all nations. It is possible that soon, and I say this as an intuition, not a certainty, will see the equalization of currencies. Imagine the Brazilian real having parity with the American dollar, euro, or even the British pound. This may sound improbable today, but this is the kind of transformation that is taking shape on the horizon of the new earth, and more event currencies, deeply devalued today, such as some from neighboring countries, may regain their strength and dignity. Yes, there will be financial justice. And why? Because the injustices that dominated the planet for so long were, in their essence, built one economic power. Money was used as a tool of domination, control, separation, and now it will be rebalanced on the moment. It is no longer necessary. We see good-natured people out there, beautiful souls full of light, but who unfortunately still defend distorted narratives created precisely by hosts who desire chaos, who want to keep the collapse going. These manipulators pay to spread invert information, unfounded criticism, and even convince many to fight against measures that, deep down, will bring benefits to everyone. This happens here, in Brazil, and abroad too. But must understand that there is a higher command above humanity that is already intervening. This command does not belong to a government or a human institution. It is universal, spiritual, and galactic. Order is being established. We are living in the time of reset. One by one, the old systems are being brought down. Like a domino effector, a cascade, each structure will bear placed by another that is more just, more balanced, more aligned with the energy of the new earth. And we are not just talking about finances. I speak of health, education, work, food, housing, human relations, technologies. Everything will be remade based on new principles: cooperation, sharing, integrity, and divine justice. But beware. Even this new quantum financial system will not be eternal. It will have a time of usefulness. It will serve until the end of the planetary transition. After that, money will lose its function. That's right. There will be a time when nothing will need to be bought or sold anymore. Humanity will perform its functions for pleasure, for contribution, for the joy of serving, and not out of necessity for survival. Everything that is necessary will be available to all, abundantly. There will be no scarcity. But beware. There will also be no room for what is harmful. Destructive substances, addictions, harmful accessitile of this will disappear. Not by prohibition, but by collective disinterest. It simply will no longer make sense, and many will ask, but then I won't have money to buy drug I want. The answer will be, there will no longer be anyone to sell, nor anyone to buy. This type of energy will not be part of the new earth. It will be excluded. Out of the game, only those who are in harmony with the frequency of the new vibration will remain here, with their consciousness focused on the common good and on personal and unpersonal. What we call the reset is nothing more than the end of a cycle marked by the illusion of Monet's absolute power. By accumulation, by selfishness, by exploitation, money, my brothers and sisters, has always been manufactured, has always been created to serve ye a few and demand much from many. And the more it was manufactured for the benefit of some, the more the people paid with inflation, poverty, unemployment, and inequality. What theoretically guaranteed the value of money was gold backing. Each monetary unit supposedly needed to have a corresponding gold reserve, but this was ignored for decades, and the result? Inflation, crisis, and misery for the majority wealthy holders of the system accumulated unimaginableness. Because in the old game, whenever someone lost, someone gained. It was a balance of imbalance, game of domination, but that is ending. In the coming year, Sand, I'm not talking about centuries, but a few years, Ed, we'll see the reset off the other systems. All of them, without exception. Energy, for example, will be free. There will be access to infinite sources of clean, renewable energy at no cost. Without dependence, natural resources will be managed with wisdom and respect. There will be abundance, not scarcity. Slavery through work thought idea that you need to give a word life to have the minimum will end. Similarly, debt slavery will also be extinguished. If we have free energy and inexhaustible resources, what is the weight of money? None. This is the destiny we are heading towards, and even before 2030. I believe you will see the liberation of thousands of patents that have been suppressed over the past decades. Yes. Patents for cures for serious diseases, wellness technologies, clean energy, resources for instant transportations UAs, including interplanetary travel, seems like fiction? Perhaps, but that doesn't make it any less real. Everyone believes what they wanted. That is part of free will. Here we don't impose truths. We only offer perspectives, so you can feel what resonates with your soul. The most important thing is that you feel. Free toges your path with consciousness, wisdom, and courage. All this guidance is not intended to tell you what you should or should not do with your money, your possessions, or your future. What we want, from the bottom of our hearts, is to offer clarity so that you can make your own decisions aligned with the wisdom of your soul. Money, its energy, will always respond to what we're vibrating. If we vibrate fear, attachment, greed, or insecurity, it moves unstably. But if we vibrate to consciousness, balance, gratitude, and a just intention, it becomes a powerful resource for transformation. That's why we say, no one loses what is theirs, and no one keeps what does not belong to them. These words carry a deep and comforting truth and remind us that, even in the face of loss or injustice, enormous is a higher justice that does not fail, a justice that sees beyond human contracts and laws. You, who share the same concern about the economy crisis, are on the right path by seeking answers within yourself. This sincere search is already part of the solution. Because more than applying money here or there, what matters now is where you apply your energy, your thoughts, your faith. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. If it's time to invest, invest with serenity. If it's time to wait, wait with confidence. But do everything with certainty that the universe does not fail. And if you, at some point, feel that you are lessing something, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? What lesson is being revealed here? Because yes, everything has a purpose. And often, when we accept with humility and understanding, the universe recognizes our maturity and returns what was apparently lost sometimes in an even greater, fairer, more lasting way. What we cannot do is fall into the logic of exploitation. It is no longer time to wait for a crisis to happen to buy cheap from those who are desperate. That is speculation, and speculation, my brothers and sisters, has no place. In the new earth, in the new frequency, what prevails is equity. If you sold, charge fairly. If you buy, pay fairly. No talking gadvantage of others' suffering or difficulty. These habits belong to a system that is by and deconstructed. The new earth is built on new foundations based on collaboration, empathy, real solidarity. Of course, no one wants to lose what they have achieved. But if there is a debt from the paste van from other lives, and an opportunity for settlement tappers in the form of a loss, accept it with wisdom. Because if there is learning, if there is acceptance, restitution is certain. The universe is a school, and we are all students. Some are repeating lessons, others are advancing tonu degrees of consciousness. The important thing, Isto, be present, attentive, willing to learn with every experience, including the challenging ones. Those who understand this will have peace. Peace in the soul, in the heart. In the mind, even in the face, if apparent external chaos, we are all going through an intense period of transition. It's as if we are crossing a bridge between two worlds. The old, which is crumbling, and the new, which is still being built. The bridge may sway. It may seem insecure. But it leads us to a higher, fairer, brighter place. Trust this path. I repeat, I am not here to give financial advice, nor to indicate where or how to invest. That is not the purpose of this conversation. What I bring here are conscious guidelines, seeds for flexion, inspirations that may perhaps clarify your decisions. Everything you feel, think, desire is being considered by the universe. Your intentions are read. If you act with rectitude, even without knowing all the details of the future, you are on the right path. And remember, this is just one of the resets. We are talking about the financial system because that was the question asked. But all other systems will undergo a reset. Health, education, laws, politics, relationships, work models, ways of producing and consuming. Nothing will escape the wave of renewal, and this is a reason for hope, not fear. Because of everything that is being undone is what no longer serves, is what limits, oppresses, excludes. We are moving from a world based on scarcity, fear, competition, and entering a world of abundance. Trust, cooperation, you are part of this. Your awakening, your doubt, your reflection, all of this is part of the process. And the more people access this level of understanding, the faster and smoother the collective action will be. Therefore, share this message not as an absolute truth, but as a seed. Perhaps it will find fertile ground in hearts that are rilesso, seeking meaning in this time of so many changes. And if, at any moment, you feel anguish, fear, or confusion, turn to your center, breathe, remember thought, you are guided, protected, supported. Nothing happens outside its proper time. Everything is being guided by wise hands, by force that work for thee. Greater good. And if you are listening to this message now, it's not by chance. You are being called to trust not in theories or predictions, but in your own inner light. Because in the end, it is that light that will guide you. It is your compass, your lighthouse, your true guide. So go forth with faith, with consciousness. With love, we're reaching a profound part of our conversation, and perhaps one of the most important, because talking about the future, about changes and resets, it's also talking about spiritual responsibility. It's not enough to just know that the financial system will be reset, that currencies will equalize, or that new technologies will free humanity. All of that is wonderful, but it's not the central point. The true point is, how will you position yourself in the face of this new reality? With what intention do you relate to money? How often do you feed your thoughts, your words, your decisions? Remember, the universe doesn't just respond to what We do, but to what we vibrate, and in the new earth. This will be even more evident. The time between cause and effect will be almost null. What you emanate returns quickly. That's why this moment is so precious. It's time to purify intentions, to align choices, leave behind old beliefs, especially those linked to scarcity, the fear of losing. Rampant competition. For a long time we were conditioned to believe fattenly those who accumulate win. That only those who have reserves, who buy real estate, who invest aggressively, are safe. But true value in the new world will no longer be measured in currency. It will be measured in consciousness, lucidity, and bulance. I'm not saying that saving money is wrong, or that investing is negative. On the contrary, everything can be healthy when done with wisdom. The difference lies in the motivation. If you invest out of fear, out of desperation, to escape an imaginary catastrophe, you will probably reap insecurity and frustration. Now, if you do it with serenity, with a sense of repose, seeking to build something solid not only for yourself but for those around you, then yes, there are blessings in that movement. The new earth values the collective, the shared common good. Those who act only for themselves, without considering the impacts of their actions on others, will have difficulty remaining in this new cycle. But those who already live with compassion and consciousness, still in small gestures, are already being prepared for the new vibration. And you who are here listening to this narration, are part of this. Yes, you. It doesn't matter if you feel ready or not, if you have doubts, fears, insecurities. The most important thing is that you are seeking. You area poning up. You are listening, and that already changes everything. Because what transforms the world are not the great external revolutions, but the internal revolutions. Every heart that awakens, every mind that frees itself, every person who chooses to act with more love and less control, this indeed generates. It's powerful waves in the planetary field. We are witnessing the collapse of a model. But at the same time, we are co-creating a new one. It's not an easy process, nor fast, but it is sacred. Therefore, take care of yourself, of your mind, of your body, of your feelings, and also take care of your resources. Not out of fear of losing, but out of love for using what you have with intelligence and dignity. Remember, money is just a form of energy. And like all energy, it responds to the frequency of those who move it. You can make money a prison or a bridge. You can use it to feed the ego or to generate more light. The choice always will be yours. Do not fear the reset. Do not fear the changes. They're part of the plan, a plan much bigger than we can see. And if you feel that you don't want to wait until you're 60 to enjoy life, then start now. Yes, now. Don't wait for a crisis to pass. Don't wait for a system to collapse. Don't wait for the world to change for you to change, because your change is the trigger. For the world's single rands formation, you are an essential piece in this great board game of life. And your vibration influences much more than you imagine. When you choose to act with consciousness, you inspire others to do the same. And so in silence, we change our planet. Not with violence, not with imposition, but with presence, with lucidity, with truth. This is the revolution that matters, and this revolution is already underway within millions of hearts. Are you ready to be an active part of this? So take a deep breath now. Bring this truth within you. I am ready for the new. I release the old with gratitude. I receive the new with confidence. And feel the weight leaving. Feel the relief. Feel the lightness of knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. Neither early nor late. You are in the right time, in the exact spot, with the tools you need. With lessons, your soul came to live, and everything, absolutely everything, will be taken care of. You are not alone. You are not alone. The earth is being guided. You're protected, embraced by forces that work tirelessly for the greater good. And you, awakened soul, are part of this sacred project. Throughout all these reflections, we talked about financial reset, But we also touched on what lies beyond money, the transformation of the soul, and perhaps this is the greatest of all resets. Their set of your essence, the rebirth of your light, their remembrance of who you really are, not just a worker, an investor, a number in a system, but a cosmic being, with purpose, with a mission, with the power of love. So to close our conversation, I leave you with a simple but profound summary. No one loses what is theirs. No one retains what does not belong to them. Everything balances out in due time, by with divine justice. If doubt arises about what to buy, sell, or invest, listen to the silence of your soul. It knows. It hazel ways known, do not act out of fear. Do not wait for crises to benefit from the pain of others. Do not speculation the suffering of others. Charge fairly, pay fairly, live fairly. The new earth will not tolerate the cunning that generates pain, but rather the wisdom that distributes peace. And if you, at some moment, encounter losses, bethy material, emotional, or spiritual, do not despair. It may be that your soul is closing old cycles, paying off old debts, releasing invisible shackles. Accept. With maturity, be grateful for the learning, and allow yourself to start anew. For when we understand and accept, the universe returns, and returns multiplied. You are here to learn, or you are learning. Every day, every step, every choice, even the ones that seem small, are shaping your path of light. Life on earth is a school, and you are in the most important lesson, the lesson of awakening. Be gentle with yourself. Forgive your falls, nor your victories. And always remember, you are loved, guided, sustained. Everything is aligning. Everything is falling into place. And the new world that you dream of already exists within you. Now begins to manifest around you. Be part of this manifestation. Continue seeking. Continue questioning. Continue cruising with consciousness. And above all, continue believing, because the reset is not the end. It's the beginning. The beginning of a new era, of a new cycle, of a new earth, and of a new you. With all this, I bid you farewell, leaving you not just with words, but with a vibration of love, of hope, and of light. Feel embraced now, at this instant. Wherever you are, receive this embrace as a reminder. You are important. You are necessary. You are making a difference. Stay firm. Stay with faith. Stay with an open heart, and may the light of the new consciousness accompany you in all the days to come. Namaste. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with spiritual seekers.